This is the Hanging with A podcast.
What's up? This is the Hanging with A podcast, coming to you always from Brockton, Massachusetts. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you to everybody for all your love and support. The Hanging with A podcast is at 4,160 subscribers. As always, like I always say, that does not happen without the support and love of all of you guys checking in, tapping in, sharing, liking. I just appreciate all the love and support. You can find the Hanging with A podcast on Spotify. You can find it on TikTok. I'm on Snapchat. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm all over the place. So definitely, tap in, subscribe, like, share, tell a friend about it. But I just want to say thank you just for all the support. The Hanging with A podcast is also monetized as well. I always say that because also that doesn't happen without the love and support of everybody tapping in and checking this out. So thank you very much for that. I have a special guest. I'm lucky enough to call him family now. I am getting married to his beautiful cousin, my fiance, Morgan Thatcher. And he is probably the best singer in my opinion. He can sing it all. He can do it all. I had the opportunity to go to his EP listening, the release of his EP listening party. Sorry, I'm late. It's a beautiful piece of work. So make sure you stream that and you download that as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you Teddy.
What's going on? What's up, everybody?
How's it going? Just tell the people a little bit about yourself, and
Of course. My name is Teddy Matthews. I am a singer, songwriter, producer, dancer, musician, one-man entertainment industry. I'm from Wareham, Massachusetts. I am 26 years old. I've been singing professionally since I was about 9 or 10 years old. American Idol alumnus, just released my debut project, Sorry I'm Late, on all streaming platforms, and I'm so excited to be here. This is great. I love doing things like this, especially with people that, like you said, I can now call family, so yeah.
What was life like for you growing up?
Good question. Growing up, I was a very precocious child. I was very much like I just thought that I was an adult. I did not understand the concept of I am a child. I was always interested in music as long as I can remember. It was kind of like even when I was a little kid, it was very much like, yeah, everyone wants to be a fireman or a policeman or, a teacher or something. I was like, no, I'm going to be a singer. That's what I'm going to do. And my family has always been like really, really supportive of that. I remember like being in preschool and like forcing all of my classmates to like, stand on the steps, and like I would create a makeshift stage and like perform for people. And yeah, I'm basically the exact same person I was since I was like 5 years old. So
Okay. When did you first start singing?
Honestly, like it's just been, I don't remember ever starting to sing. Like it's always been something that I have done, whether it was, on purpose or not. I've always been really drawn to music since I was a little kid. I say it as a joke all the time, but it's true. I took my first steps down a Soul Train line. So Ever since then, it's been music. It's just been who I am.
Yeah, I love that. Who inspires you to make music?
Ooh. Who inspires me to make music? Honestly, just the human experience, life in general. I'll be doing the most mundane task and, be able to find some sort of poetry in it or some small glint of inspiration. It can be as simple as, the way two people on the street look at each other can inspire me to create a song, or and then things in the lives of people that are in my life that they go through inspire me as well. So everything, honestly.
Yeah. No, that's beautiful. Do you remember the first song you ever sang?
Ooh. Um, so the first performance that I ever gave, like with a microphone, was, I'll never forget. I was in third grade. It was the talent show. I was singing with my best friend at the time, Kelsey, and we sang "What I've Been Looking For" from High School Musical, and then the national anthem
Okay.
was one of my big sort of like songs that I performed all the time. My mom told me to sing it at some talent show as a joke, because she was like, "Yeah, well, you get to go first, and you'll always get a standing ovation." And I thought that was genius.
Yeah.
And then once I got a little bit more sure of myself artistically, it was a lot of, Destiny's Child songs, a lot of Jackson 5 songs, Stevie Wonder, the whole Motown camp. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What inspires you
What inspires me, just in general?
in general?
In general, I mean, kind of like I said when I touched on how just the human experience is inspirational to me as a
Yeah.
musician. Perseverance, seeing
Hmm.
people get knocked down and get back up, or fight for what they want through adversity, is such an inspiration to me. Um, Injustice in the world is such an inspiration and a driving force in things that I do, things that I stand up for. Um, yeah, I'm a very I'm a person who finds themselves to be very in touch with the universe, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I really try to keep myself open to the experiences of others as well as my own, to try to see things from different people's perspective, and that's truly a wealth of inspiration for me.
Yeah. I always say, like, you know what I mean? I feel like musicians they have the power to change a person's mood,
Yes.
change how people view the world, change how
Hmm.
people like, feel accepted in the world. And I feel like that's like just a powerful gift to have
Yes.
because you're on a platform where everybody in the world
Hmm.
listens to what you're saying.
Right.
Um,
I've always looked at being a musician and um, a singer, a songwriter, as being sort of a mouthpiece for the universe, or a conduit for the human experience. I feel as though it's my responsibility to use these gifts that I've been given to create things that people can relate to, that their own, that help them to understand their own emotions and things that they're going through. I find that a song truly can sort of encapsulate a moment in time or a
mhm.
sensation, and bring it to life.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Um, when you started singing, was it something that you just was like you were good at right away, or is it something that
Yes.
you gradually got good at, or was it like,
No.
you know what, started singing, I'm good at this. This is what I'm going to do. So like, what was that like? What was that like?
I was really good. I was really good when I was a little kid. When I first started taking voice lessons, everybody in the
Oh,
school that I was taking lessons at, they always called me the prodigy. I was, for some reason, you know, able to just do things with my voice that a child should not really be able to do. But as I've grown and matured musically, I've become a very, very technical singer. Before, it was all just, this is what I feel, this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to kind of throw my voice at the notes and hope it lands. But
yeah.
the growth that I've had in the last, I mean, I would say decade or so, is exponential compared to the decade before. And just learning about the features of my voice and the way the anatomy works, and developing my musicianship outside of just being a singer. It's a constant process of growth, but I will say I definitely started on a high note.
Okay. Okay. That's good. That's good to
Not to
know.
toot my own horn or anything.
Uh-huh. I totally get it. Um, your creative process when you're making music. Like, what is your creative process like when you're
Yeah.
making music, producing music, writing music? Like, you know,
Yeah.
you have to tap. I know when you're writing music for other people, you have to tap into like their emotions and how they're feeling. Like,
Yeah.
how is that?
It's so I would say every song is a different journey. I mean, the creative process can start at any point. It's not like a linear process. It's more circular or almost spherical, honestly. Um, a song can start from a cool phrase that popped into my head, just two words that I like. I was like, oh, those rhyme together really cool. That would be an interesting bar. And then that can create, a whole different concept. Or, sometimes I go in with a melodic concept where I like this certain line of these notes together, and that creates the melody for a chorus or a verse. There's been times where I will just be completely writing just words with no melody in mind, and just save it as a note in my phone, and then years down the line I'll be writing a completely different song and think back like, oh wait, that other song that I was writing, those lyrics would be perfect for the bridge, or that will work for the chorus. Or it's really different every time. Sometimes I'll get a track already made from a producer and instantly have inspiration, and the track will kind of create what the concept for the song is. So I'll listen to it and be like, oh, this song sounds like someone finding out they've just been cheated on, and that creates the whole storyline in my head. It's different every time. As far as like writing for somebody else, again, it kind of depends. If they already have a concept, I really do my best not to overstep. You never want to sort of dampen somebody else's artistic vision or integrity, especially when it's their song. But then there's been other times where I'm writing a song and I'm like, this song doesn't really make sense for me, but somebody will be able to do a really, this is a country song, I don't really do this. Or so it's a very, you never know what you're going to get. Inspiration can strike at any time and take any shape, honestly.
Yeah. If you had to pick a dream collaboration with any artist, who would that be?
Come on now.
I mean, I know the answer.
Now.
I know the answer to this.
I'm wearing my Renaissance World Tour shirt, sweatshirt right now.
I set myself up for that one. I knew the answer to that one. Beyonce.
It's B. It will always be B. I mean, there's others, of course, all the legends in my life. Mariah Carey is one of my biggest inspirations vocally and lyrically. She is a force of nature, truly, and I don't think gets enough credit in the industry today for the accomplishments she's had. But then there's so many, newer artists that are, making waves these days. Doja Cat is an incredible creative force that I think we would come up with something really, really cool. Kendrick Lamar is one of my goats, honestly. His lyricism and his ability to create incredibly conceptual work is really inspirational to me. But it's always going to be Beyonce. That's that's the artist of my life, honestly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Beyonce. Staying with Beyonce, the Renaissance tour that you had the opportunity to go to, like, what was that experience like? I've seen her shows like all over Instagram, all over TikTok, London, Vegas. I know she was here in Boston. Like, what was that experience like? Because you were like pretty much almost on the stage for that show.
Yeah, so I was fortunate enough to have tickets for Club Renaissance, which is the section that basically is inside of the runway that, her and her dancers, are on during the performance. And it was nothing short of mind-blowing. This is the fifth time I've seen her live. I've seen every concert since the Mrs. Carter tour, every concert since I could use my own money to buy tickets. And just to see the growth and development from not just her being more polished and precise and, a better musician and more put together, but the freedom that she has when she's on stage is so inspiring as a performer myself. The way that she is just so joyful and free, really, is the word for it on stage. It was a sight to behold. No, I don't think anyone left the stadium that night without feeling like they could get that much closer to the dreams that they have, that, you know, they shouldn't work that one extra hour or those, you know, few extra minutes to get that, you know, one more rep in the gym, or, you know, finish that project that they've been putting off. She is just the pinnacle of excellence, honestly. The pinnacle of somebody who is the top of their field. She's one of one, the only one. Like, she says it in the record, and she's right. It's not even bragging for her. It's just a fact.
Yeah, she you know, I've never seen her live. I've never got that opportunity. I'm gonna have to get that opportunity to see her live. I'm a big fan, a very big fan of her husband. Her husband is my GOAT. You know, I think I've been a Jay-Z fan since '97.
Okay.
You know, and I've seen Jay-Z many a times. And I just think that, like, what she represents for just all African Americans and just women in general, you know what I mean? Artists in general, it's just beautiful. You know what I mean? Like, she works so hard. She doesn't cheat her fans. You know, I feel like every time she comes out with something, she's always reinventing the wheel. Like the Renaissance album, you know, it's house music pretty much that she took, and she kind of like just put her own spin on it. But then, like, that went on to, like, you know, Drake came out with an album that was like that. You know what I mean? She's always setting her own bar. She doesn't follow anything else that anybody else is doing. She's just setting her own bar. Right. She is the bar.
She is the bar. Especially with, if you look at sort of the growth from her last several solo projects, you know, it was always going completely against the grain, because she is the grain. She is the industry. You know, with 4, which she released at the height of, you know, the early 2010s EDM craze, when it didn't matter what genre you did on your last album, you were making a dance record. She did a traditional R&B album with, you know, funk elements and, you know, 70s and 60s elements to you know, to bring it back to where her creativity started. And then, you know, the Beyonce project, you know, her self-titled project was experimental and dark and moody and played with different genres, and, you know, of course, was a surprise release and basically invented pulling a Beyonce, you know what I mean? And then with Renaissance, you know, after reclaiming, you know, all the traumatic experiences that Black women go through, and the emotional weight that is put on them in their different relationships, with Lemonade, creating an album about liberation, you know, especially for the Black and queer communities with Renaissance, it's just really, if you look at her, it's the only logical conclusion. It's the only logical step for her to take to continue to, you know, uplift these marginalized communities and give a voice to the voiceless.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree.
So have you seen Jay-Z live?
I've seen Jay-Z
man
live.
is a performer.
Yeah, I've seen him live. I've seen him the Blueprint 3 tour. I saw him. Jay-Z's Hard Knock Life tour was the first ever rap concert I went to. That was like in '98. I was in 8th grade. I saw him for the Watch the Throne. And then I saw him for the 444 tour.
Nice.
I think the thing with Jay-Z is the story, how he went from where he's at now. He's a billionaire now, and where he started at, he wasn't that. He hustled his way to get to where he's at now, and he's just honest. You know what I mean? He's honest. He doesn't lie. He's another one. Everything that he says, he's went through. He's experienced. He's not fabricating anything. or none of that. You know what I mean? He's letting
Right.
you know, hey, this is my life. This is what I went through.
Mm.
Um, and I'm here to tell about it. A lot of people don't get a chance to tell about it. So
Mm-hmm.
I've seen him live a few times. I just haven't seen his wife, and
Yeah.
I have to figure that out. I was telling Morgan.
Yes, absolutely.
I
I
was telling
got to
Morgan.
see them live together
Yeah, I didn't see that one.
on the run. I went to both, but I was blown away
Yeah,
by his stage presence and his
yeah,
like breath control. I mean, I'd always looked at him as, he is the lyricist,
yeah,
like absolute lyrical genius. When just the things he comes up with, just
yeah.
every time, just completely blow my mind.
Right.
But he's a very, very captivating individual on stage, incredibly impressive.
For like everything he says, people break down things that he says for like weeks. When he did the God did verse, they broke that verse down for like 2 weeks. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Because it's just so many plays on words that he used in that song,
Oh
and it's
yeah.
like, wow, like
Mm-hmm.
he's doing all of this without writing. This is
Without
just
writing,
off the top
off
of
the
his
top.
head. You know,
And
which
he's
is
honestly, that's inspired me to even attempt to write in that way. You get in the booth, oh, press record, you just kind of get into the vibe, and you just start, even if you're just mumbling, because if you I've seen a lot of like footage of him kind of crafting his songs, and
yeah,
sometimes he'll have these takes where he's just like he's creating the flow, and it's like you can almost hear the syllables that he's going to choose before he even chooses it. So he's just absolutely groundbreaking with everything that he does. Interested to see what the ways that he continues his
yeah.
creativity.
Right, I agree. Um, let's talk a little bit about the EP.
Yeah,
I'm sorry I'm late. Um, First off, why the title? I'm sorry I'm late. I mean, I went to the listening party, so I think you probably explained this.
of
But
course,
for the
yes.
people that didn't get a chance to experience that,
Mm-hmm.
and the process behind that, because I know it
Yeah,
took you a while to put the EP together.
for sure.
Take me through the process and the inspiration behind I'm sorry I'm late.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry I'm Late is a project several years in the making. Honestly, it's been something I've been working on and conceptualizing since I finished American Idol. So, like 5 years, honestly, in the making for 5 songs.
Yeah,
um, the title is sort of a double entendre. Sorry I'm late, in the sense, sorry it took so long for this project to come out. Sorry I'm late because I never showed up to anything on time.
yeah,
And so it's sort of a love letter to myself in that way. And now I can show up late to places as promotion and just say, hey,
yeah,
sorry I'm late, streaming on all platforms.
yeah,
The project is sort of a collection of songs that I've sort of picked up over the years that have just sort of fallen into my possession. Um, some of them that I recorded actually as long ago as 2019 ish. It's very much a mix of genres that I love, big power pop songs, but then our more traditional R&B records, a little bit of a dance EDM vibe, and sort of everything that falls in between. So it's very much a record that has a little bit of something for everybody. Yeah, it's sort of I don't want to say an all ages project, but it's definitely the type of thing that everyone from 2 to 92 will be jamming to, hopefully.
yeah. No, I mean, I love it. You know what I mean? And
Thank you.
it came out. I listened to it right away, and I was like, man, this is so. It's just a good record, just a good body of work.
Thank you.
Like I said at the beginning of this, I think you are the best singer. You know what I mean? Watching your TikToks and just everything. It's just like, you put so much soul, so much effort into what you're doing. And like when you come up with music, like it shows. So,
I'm
um,
very much a perfectionist when it comes to everything that I do musically, and it's a quality that has definitely helped and hindered me. I'm working to have more fun and to take things a little bit less seriously when it comes to music, but still take what I do very seriously. So the release of this project has been so fun. Just such a weight off my shoulders, and it's like, oh, I finally have a body of work in the world that you can stream. You can play it for your friends. You can put it on in the car. It's something that I've never had before. In the various projects that I've worked on over the years. We've released singles and, buzz tracks and teasers and music videos and things like that. But this being my first little, full project, well, I guess half-length project, it's just an EP, but, not to minimize it at all. It's such a milestone for me in my career, and I'm so excited to, honestly, to continue to drop the next project. That's really what I'm excited for. Sorry I'm late is but a small taste of what I can do vocally and musically.
Yeah. Quote, what's a quote that you live by?
Ooh, a quote that I live by. Let's see. We can bring it right back to Beyonce. Embrace your past, live for now. That's a good one. Perfection is the disease of a nation. That's one that's really sitting heavy with me now. I'm trying to think of something a little bit more pragmatic. If at first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again. I'm full of the quotes, honestly.
I think my favorite one, I've said this one on many episodes. But it's by Nipsey Hussle. Rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle. And it's the highest human act is to inspire. I really feel that way. I wrote yesterday in my story, I said, I just want to have conversations that inspire people. And like, that's just my thing. Like, that's the reason why I started this platform, because I just want to have conversations with incredible, talented people.
Right,
you know what I mean? Not necessarily famous people, just people that are doing incredible things in the world that, a lot of people may not know about. And I'm like, why not build something where I can have these great conversations with them? You know what I mean? And also promote all the beautiful things that they're doing in the world. So that's one of my favorite quotes.
Yeah. That really resonates with me.
Yeah, I always go to that one. He also had another one where he talked about how kids spell love, Time, time. You know what I mean? As you know, I have 3 kids, you know what I mean? And as they're getting older, I'm starting to understand they just want time. Right. You know what I mean? They don't want anything else but to, my daughters just want me to play Barbies. My son just wants me to show up to certain things. Like that's all they want. So that's another one that I really like.
Yeah. I find that when we think back to how we were when we were kids, it didn't matter what we were doing. We always wanted our parents to kind of be involved in some way, like, oh, hey, look at this cool new thing I can do on my video game. Like, it wasn't ever about the video game. It was about the connection and the time aspect of, knowing that you're there, that you care about what is going on in my life, even though I'm just this 10-year-old kid trying to figure it all out, so that's really powerful.
Yeah, thank you. Let's see, your top 10, give me your top 10 artists of all time. It can be rap, music, whatever. Top 10 artists of all time.
I'm ready. So top 5 that comes to mind is the 2 that I've already mentioned: Beyonce, Mariah Carey, Prince, Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder. And if we're gonna keep going, we're just goats of the music industry. I would put Jay-Z up in there. I'd put Whitney Houston up in there. I think she's one of those undeniable singers who has sort of influenced every singer that's kind of come after her. 3 more. I want to put. I'm trying to think of somebody who's just been uber influential. Brandy. I'd put Brandy in there.
Yeah.
Just like incomparable vocals. Her ability to create, harmonies and layers within her music and in her runs is insane. Two more. Let's see. I would go with probably somebody who's like a lyricist. Who else comes to mind? I'm really tempted to put Nicki Minaj in there, but her career is a little roller coaster the last couple of years.
Yeah.
That's the homie though. That's the homie.
Yeah.
And who else just been like utterly influential? Probably Lil Wayne.
Yeah, a lot of people say
just for the influence that he's just one of those people where like every person that's trying to do what they do wants to do it like them. And
it like that.
That's what I mean, like, I mean, who else came out that hot, like from jump, you know what I mean? It's so rare for something like that to happen. And then I kind of think back though, like to some of my like legends of the past, James Brown, Aretha Franklin, Patti LaBelle, Tina Turner, Donna Summer, Marvin Gaye.
Yeah,
now that I'm going, I can keep going. Like these are just like the people that are like the foundation for, what I do musically. So
yeah.
Oh yeah. The goats.
5 years from now, where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Total world domination. Simple. Total.
I like that.
World domination.
I love it. I can see it.
I try not to put too much expectation on myself, but at this point, I'm about to enter my prime. I feel like I very much feel like I'm on this upward slope right now, and I just need that roller coaster car to get right up over that hill, and then it's a done deal.
Yeah. What advice would you give an up and coming artist?
Stay true to yourself. Be realistic. Not everybody that likes to do music or likes to make music is ready or cut out to have music as a career. It takes a lot of blood, sweat, tears, sacrifice, sleepless nights, lonely nights. It's a lot of, especially in your early days, trying to make it happen all by yourself. You're the artist, but you're your booking team, you're your marketing team, you're your PR team. You're doing everything. You're trying to make your own merch. Like it's a gritty battle, and the industry is very unforgiving. It's when they say it's a dog eat dog world or it's a Shark Tank, that's what they're talking about. There will be a lot of people that will sell you a dream to try to make $1 off of you, and it's very important to have a good foundation, to have a good circle of people around you, to not only be a second set of eyes and ears, but to, be there to pick you up when that deal falls through, or when 3 people show up to your show, or, when your album goes triple plexiglass on the billboard instead of triple platinum like you wanted to. I mean, I could go on. Stay humble, stay hungry. Never think that you're the best version of yourself, but always chase that. And never compete with yourself either. The artist that you were last year is not the artist you are today. We're constantly ever evolving individuals, even outside of being artists. So I think a lot of people get caught up in, I gotta outdo the last song, I gotta outdo the last video, and you really don't. You want to expand on what you've created, and hopefully give us something new. We don't want to see you just reinvent the same thing over and over again, right? So yeah, it's all about the evolution, and staying grounded is the most important.
I like that. American Idol. You were on American Idol. Talk to me a little bit about like that experience.
Okay, that one of the strangest experiences I've ever had in my life. I kind of did American Idol on a whim. It's never been a dream of mine to do any of those competition shows. I always wanted to make it on my own, or in my head do what I thought was making it on your own as an artist. And that was put out your records, promote yourself, get some fans, blow up. I was in a band that we did original music for like 7 years or something, from the time I was like 13 to 20. So when the band kind of fell apart, everyone, kind of wanted to do their own thing. I was kind of at a bit of a crossroads and didn't really know where I should go, what I should do, if I should continue. And through connections that I had made over the years, I was offered an audition at American Idol. So I wasn't standing out in lines for 3 hours, waiting for somebody to hear me sing. I got and I don't think I'm supposed to say these things, but I do anyway, because who cares? I got what we call a front of the line audition. So it was sort of like a direct in to the producers. So I started in Boston and had like my first little mini audition, and they loved me. So they were like, great, I know it's Friday, but we need you to come to Chicago on Tuesday. I was like, oh, okay, great. Are you guys paying for me? And they were like, no, why would we do that? I was like, oh, okay, cool. So on a whim, bought a plane ticket to Chicago, went, did basically the same thing, knocked it out, and then I got my opportunity to actually perform for the judges. So this is Lionel Richie, Katy Perry, Luke Bryan. So I think it was like October 2018. I had my judges audition right across the street from Madison Square Garden in New York City. It was very, very surreal. I ended up being actually the second person to audition that day, so I was really excited about that. A really easy way to make a good impression on the judges is to go first. Kind of ironic, the girl that sang right before me is actually the girl that won the whole competition, but that's another story for another day. So I sang, what did I sing? I did A Change Is Gonna Come by Sam Cooke, one of my kind of go-to performance songs. Knocked it out of the park. They loved me, got my golden ticket, did the 3-hour psychiatric eval, and then was flown to Los Angeles that January for Hollywood Week. During the audition process before I got to Hollywood Week, I had kind of noticed how, I don't want to say how manufactured it was, but the show is highly produced. It's very much, the producers have a bit of an agenda. They want to paint you in a certain light. They want to get specific information out of you to then spin that to create whatever storyline they're trying to create for you for the show. They would just really kind of delve into people's personal lives, and it seemed like they would ask you questions to try to make you look dumb or make you look bad in a way, and I ain't going for that. I've been media trained since I was 13, so I very much saw through everything that they were trying to do. So I would look right in the producer's face and be like, I'm not going to answer that question. I know what y'all are trying to do. And then they'd be like, okay, and pay no attention to the man behind the curtain was very much the vibe. So when I got to Hollywood Week, I think they kind of already didn't really know what to do with me. And of course I came in very, very polished, very, very, I had my look, I had my sound. There wasn't really much that you were going to break down to build back up again, which is what they want to do. So I actually got cut in the first round of Hollywood Week, if you can believe it or not.
Wow, that's crazy.
It was crazy, and everybody else in the audience thought so too, all the contestants. But that's the round, as one of the rounds where they don't give you any critiques. So the producers completely make the decision. They literally filmed fake judges' deliberation scenes where the producers would be like, okay, we need more deliberation footage, and the judges would pretend to make decisions. Like, they'd be like, okay, yeah, we'll do this with this person, and they were doing it right in front of us. So it was like, it was very like Twilight Zone, like Truman Show type of, is this reality? Like, what's going on? It is reality, you know?
Yeah. And
it just very much taught me that reality TV is not reality, and not necessarily a road that I would go down again. Yeah. It's not a singing competition, is what I tell everybody. It's a reality show. You know, they want the people with the crazy story. They want the people that are going to give them reactions to things. And that wasn't necessarily me. So here we are.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's definitely their loss. You know what I mean? But that's a hell of an experience. You know what I mean? Just to be able to go through that.
It's very different from the edit that they create on TV. But, you know, if I were to give myself advice, you know, going into it with the experience that I have now is, remember, you're making a TV show, you know? Yeah. So everything that you do kind of has to be a little bit larger than life. And, you know, you almost have to, like, create a bit of a character and to really lean into everything that's going on. Like, I remember the first time that we walked into the Dolby Theater, which is where they actually hold the Oscars there every year. But that's where our Hollywood Week performances took place. So we're all walking into the theater, and, you know, everyone's kind of trying to play it cool, but everyone's like, oh my God, this is so crazy. You know, oh, they shoot the Oscars here. And we get like halfway into the theater, and the production assistant is like, nope, everybody go back. We need bigger reactions. We need this. And they literally brought us back into the theater a second time and had us pretend it was the first time we were seeing everything, so that our reactions were bigger and more manufactured. So I kind of, as that was happening, I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to go that far in this competition.
Yeah. No, that's
it's a good story. It's a good story.
It's a beautiful story. And I mean, the fact that, you know, the fact that you were able to, like, experience that and also go through that, that's excellent.
Oh, yeah.
Couple more things before I let you go.
Of course.
Play a little game. Saying something new. All right. It's called Either Or. You get to pick. I'm going to name a few things. You tell me which one you would go with. All right. Usher or Chris Brown?
Oh, Usher, any day.
Okay. Thriller or Purple Rain?
Oh, why you do this to me? Oh. Purple Rain.
Okay. I mean, Thriller. I mean, they're both classics.
They're both classics. I think Purple Rain is just, it's so good start to finish. It's like you don't want to skip anything, and there's a whole visual to the whole movie, and it's just such a concept. I find myself listening to songs from Purple Rain more than I listen to songs from Thriller. Bad is my favorite Michael Jackson album.
Okay, Bad. Beyonce or Destiny Child?
I mean, can you really separate the two? It's Beyonce always. Mrs. Carter.
Okay. Boys and Men or New Edition?
Ooh, good question. Boys to Men. They're better musicians. But I have read some very interesting things about things that they did to different artists that they were, like, working with, you know, like points that were taken off the record and given to them when it should have been given to different artists. I've read that they did some not so ethical business practices in the 90s, but hey, I can neither confirm or deny.
Okay. Best national anthem of all time?
Ooh, I mean, it's got to be Whitney. She's the standard. She is the stand. She's the version that pretty much everybody wants to sound like, or they actively try not to sound like. I will say Beyonce's is probably number 2, though. It's just so dramatic and magnanimous. And then I really love the Destiny's Child national anthem. As far as like a group, I don't think I've ever heard a trio, a duo, or anybody sing the national anthem as tight and precise and interesting as they made it.
Okay. This was like a little bit Rihanna, Adele.
Oh, such an interesting comparison. I think Adele would say Rihanna, so I'm gonna say Rihanna.
Okay, that was good. That was good. That's the first time I've.
Such different categories, though.
Yeah, that's the first time I've ever done that. So thank you.
Yeah. No, that was really fun. I love a game.
Thank you. 10 people you could invite to dinner, dead or alive. Who would you invite?
Ooh, okay.
You can invite anybody.
Anybody, dead or alive. Well, as long as Beyonce's next to me, that's fine. That's what we need. We need that. Malcolm X. Malcolm X. I want him at the table. Who else? Who else comes to mind? Oh, this is such a. There's so many. I don't want Prince there because he wouldn't talk, or he would just say some weird stuff, and everybody would feel uncomfortable. I'm thinking like who it would be just interesting to talk to. Benjamin Franklin. I did a lot of like projects on him growing up, and I always found him to be just one of the most interesting men in the world. Leonardo da Vinci.
Okay.
I feel like there's just so much that he would be able to talk about, and just an interesting mind. Who else comes to mind? I'm big on like inventors and philosophers and stuff like that. So I would say Nikola Tesla. I would definitely ask him how it feels to have Edison steal your work and make it 10 times worse, and have it kind of running how we do things in the world now. Let's see, who else? Barack Obama can come. He can come through. We could talk about some of his policies, some of his political shortcomings and his political accomplishments. Who else? Who else comes to mind? So many. What was that? I think that was like six. Six. Who else would I want to be there? I don't know. Honestly, I don't think I could make enough food for any of those people anyway. So, but if I had to pick like one more person, I would say maybe like a somebody from like, I'd want someone from like ancient times, almost like a Socrates or an Aristotle or a Galileo or something like that, and just kind of I think it would be really cool to like just talk about what their perspective of the world is and how much more we know now, and how much we still don't know. So I think that would be a very interesting bunch.
No, that'd be an interesting dinner. I mean, my 10 always changes because I teach history. You know what I mean?
Right.
So mine's always changed. Like I would have John F. Kennedy Jr. I would have Princess Diana. Jay-Z, of course.
Of course.
LeBron James. Of course, my kids would be there. My soon-to-be wife would be there. I would say my family. My family's so big now.
For sure. So. I would definitely add, if I had to add somebody, because I think I only had like 8. Serena Williams.
Williams,
for sure. She's been such an inspiration. And like Simone Biles or something like that. I love people that are just like at the pinnacle, at the top of their field, undisputable, unmesswittable. Like that. That's like the type of people I like to surround myself with.
Yeah. Before I let you go, what can we expect from you and for the rest of 2023 going in 2024?
Yeah, you can expect greatness. Honestly, you can expect growth. You can expect hustle. You can expect to see my face everywhere. That is the goal. That is the game that we're gonna change. Honestly.
Yeah, okay.
Hmm.
I appreciate you coming on for episode 49 of the Hang with A podcast. Again, like I said before, I'm lucky that I get to call you family. Just thank you, for all the love you've shown me. And I just, I'm so happy for everything that's getting ready to happen for you. And the things that you're working on. Again, like I told people at the beginning, make sure you go download, stream. Sorry I'm late. It's a beautiful piece of work by him. So definitely you guys tap into that and download that because it's great. It's a great EP.
Thank you. And make sure
Nope.
you subscribe to the Hanging with Abe podcast. We're
Yes.
going up. That's all we
Yes.
doing. We going to the top. Come on,
Yep.
we got to turn that 4,000 into 5,000 subscribers,
5,000.
people.
Yeah.
Come on.
Thank you very
Listen,
much.
I'm so proud. I'm so honored that you, had me as a guest.
No
And
problem.
I'm so happy to welcome you into the family and can't wait to make it official.
Yes, I can't wait either. It's coming up soon. So
Oh, yes.
I can't wait. All right.
Got to get my outfit ready.
Yes. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.